Good morning everyone, welcome to SWXC.net's update for the 3rd of February 2012. We can see a very marked monsoon trough and we can see a very marked low pressure system in this vorticity chart. We can see these southeasterlies coming in. They're pretty weak, but they're enough to create the spin required. Very strong westerlies, very strong northwesterlies. The net flow of this system will be to the east or east-southeast over the next 7 days at least, by the looks of things. There's nothing else suggesting any other type of steering flow. Look at these nice, very strong northwesterlies coming through the northern reaches here and then pushing well east into the Coral Sea and South Pacific in the long term. So there's nowhere else this baby's going to go except east or east-southeast, and pretty quickly at that too. By 10 p.m. tonight, she's well and truly out into the central Coral Sea and pushing very fast to the east-southeast, probably at about 30 to 50 kilometers an hour. There's just nothing steering it in the other direction, so it's going to move very quickly. By 3 to 4 days time it's going to be east of our region, so that's how quickly it's going to move. So we've got a southwesterly airstream coming in, but don't stress too much over northern Queensland. It's not going to clear things out completely. If you see this ridging, it's only getting up as far as about Bowen. Anywhere north of that you're still under troughing. The blue stuff here suggests a trough. Anywhere that we've got a trough, we've got showers and storm activity. So there it is, we're still in a trough situation despite what feed we're getting in the 700 hectopascal level. Here's what we're looking at on Saturday night. So by Saturday night we're expecting a nice strong trough system. We are expecting some ridging to creep into the Herbert Burdick and then into the North Tropical Coast, but we are expecting a fairly decent monsoon trough here, still lying just to the north of Cairns and pushing down towards what should be by that stage Jasmine, and then pushing further to the east. From the Bureau of Meteorology's high seas warning, gale warning today, they have the low currently at 15.2 south, 145.3 east, and they have a very vigorous monsoon trough. The trough is expected to move slowly south. The low is expected to deepen 989 hectopascals and be 16 south, 151 east. That passes very close to Willis Island, so we should know what it's like in a few hours time when it goes through Willis Island by tonight. The Bureau has also issued a coastal wind warning from Torres Strait to Cape Trib, and then from Townsville to St. Lawrence, and that's the new part there, Townsville to St. Lawrence. We're now expecting east to southeast winds to increase to 25 to 30 knots during the afternoon. So there's a fair sign there that this is going to be a tropical cyclone as opposed to a strong monsoon low. So we have the Cooktown to Cape Trib, Lockhart River to Cooktown, Cape Grenville to Lockhart River, anywhere from 30 to 40 knots, and then 25 to 30 in the Townsville to St. Lawrence area. So at 4 a.m. the Bureau had placed the low just where that red little button there is, and so obviously by the looks of this it's pushed towards the south or south-southeast a little in the last hour, but not to worry, that's only because it's so elongated. It's not actually moving south-southeast, it'll move east-southeast and it'll move reasonably quickly. But you can see here very nice onshore feed. If we add the locations, you can see very nice onshore feed and creating some pretty decent rainfall, light to moderate falls. If we look at the Townsville radar, we've got a very nice northeast stream coming into Townsville and then becoming east-northeast just before hitting the coast. So this stuff here should hit the coast eventually near Townsville. However, we've also got a very nice northeast feed further south, and we had some amazing thunderstorm activity out near Pentland, with Pentland reporting well over 100 millimeters last night, where they had just massive storms just sitting over the top of the region and doing nothing. If we take a look at Mackay radar showing us that there's a lot of stuff coming in from the northeast or northeast. However, not as much in south of Mackay, most of it being north of Mackay. This area here around the Whitsundays has picked up anywhere from sort of 40 to 100 millimeters overnight as well, so some pretty good rainfall totals throughout. If we take a look at rainfall figures, we see some areas just to the north of Townsville have picked up 50 to 100 mils. We've seen good light to moderate falls, even moderate to heavy in the Cairns region. We've seen those really heavy thunderstorm activity near Pentland, over 100 mils there. We've had a really good fall, or really good storm activity sort of sitting over Kowanyama all night. They've had about 150 odd mils. We've had over 100 mils down here in parts too, 50 to 100 at least over most of southern inland Queensland. So we've had a very active weather pattern over the state, and also, sorry, I almost forgot, moderate to heavy falls here in the Central Coast Whitsundays area north of Mackay. Weather Zone provides us with some brilliant imagery, especially in their paid subscription services. So I do recommend that you look at using them as an option for your weather graphics. This is courtesy of them here now. We're looking at 24 hours time by tonight, 10 p.m. What the rainfall figures could be. We've got well over 100 millimeters here to the southwest of Charters Towers, and we've got this lovely area between sort of Cairns, or just north of Cairns, all the way through to Mackay, looking at moderate to heavy rainfall in a fairly convergent band, as well as the trough and the convergent banding pushing or working together to create some fairly heavy falls. Very similar story with the GFS, where we've got basically anywhere from just north of Mackay all the way through to Princess Charlotte Bay is looking at moderate to heavy rainfall on the coast, and also that trough system creating some heavy rainfall inland as well. Okay, looking quickly at our rainfall figures or rainfall estimates according to the European latest, we see this low pressure system here at 10 a.m. this morning, about 100-150 kilometres off the coast, and we see 25 to 50 millimetre pockets pretty well all through the North Tropical Coast and Tablelands, grading to 15 to 25 mil pockets here. This is rainfall 4 a.m. to 4 p.m. today. And we see pockets here over the Herbert Lower Burdekin, or most of the Herbert Lower Burdekin, expecting up to 10 millimetres, and also Central Coast and Whitsundays parts still expecting 25 right on the coastal fringe. And we have amazing thunderstorm activity here of 100 millimetres plus between 4 a.m. and 4 p.m. over the central inland parts of Queensland, or the northern Central Highlands coalfields, even the very far southern or southeastern parts of the northern goldfields up of Flinders. So Charters Towers, this could be your turn today, with 15 to 25 mils, even getting up to 25 to 50 mils right in that pocket. If we look at our synoptic chart at 10 p.m. today, we've got this low pressure system. Now it's well off the coast. It's probably around Willis Island by tonight, and so we should have some interesting observations. Willis Island has a meteorological station there, and some observers stationed there too, as well as meteorologists. So there should be some interesting observations coming from there. However, more importantly, locally, we see this feeder band coming right through the Herbert and Lower Burdekin with 15 to 25 mils throughout the Herbert Lower Burdekin and the North Tropical Coast. We see 25 to 50 mil pocket here near Cairns. We see a 50 to 100 mil pocket to the southwest of Charters Towers, or southwest of Charters Towers, but we see 15 to 25 mils throughout the Herbert and Lower Burdekin again. So that's a cumulative total of anywhere in the Herbert Lower Burdekin of anywhere from 20 to 50 mils by that stage. And we see a little bit less rain anywhere south of Mackay, but we still see those falls of 10 millimetres or so, even getting up to 15-20 mils as we get closer to Townsville. You've got right along Townsville, you've got just on the edge, so it might be interesting to see whether Townsville gets it or not, this area of heavier rainfall. So it's going to be interesting to see whether that just gets on the coast or whether it just stays off the coast. Here's our chart Saturday morning. So 10 a.m. Saturday morning, this thing's well and truly off to its drink over here in the Coral Sea, Southwest Pacific. This modelling has it going well past 180 degrees east, so it will be one of the longest moving cyclones in the history of cyclones. If it does what it's expected to do, it could end up washing out well east of 180 degrees east. Anyway, back on topic locally, we've got these falls pushing further north now as the flow becomes more offshore. We've got this trough system in through here continuing to dump showers and storms in the Charters Towers and further north area, and also west towards Hughenden. And we have moderate to heavy rainfall still on the North Tropical Coast and Tablelands, easing off in the Herbert Lower Burdekin to only light falls of 5 to 10 mils. And so we're still going to have a fair bit of rain throughout the area, even with the cyclone pushing offshore. There is this residual trough system in here. So that's 4 a.m. to 4 p.m. tomorrow. Between 4 p.m. tomorrow and 4 a.m. on Sunday, we still see showers popping onto the coast, and we still see stormy areas to the west in the northern Goldfields, Upper Flinders, and we see a general decrease in rainfall over the North Tropical Coast and Tablelands, and also Central Coast and Whitsundays are largely fine. However, there could be some isolated showers at the northern edge of it, but still looking at reasonable potential for rainfall in the Herbert Lower Burdekin, and that's once again because of a residual trough system. You can see it here in the dip in the isobars there. You can see that trough system right in through there. Alright, well that'll do us for today. We'll have another update tonight as we continue to see rainfall in the district and see what sort of figures we're getting. But as I say, moderate to heavy falls throughout today, even moderate to heavy fall or moderate to heavy falls early tomorrow as well, becoming lighter towards the end of tomorrow. However, don't stress, because this, particularly the European model, is very aggressive in developing a trough system and stalling it in the long term, and that ends up dumping well over 200 mils of rain over Townsville in the next 10 days. So if you're in Townsville and you're in the surrounding areas, so Central Coast Whitsundays, North Tropical Coast and Tablelands, and even into the northern parts of Central Highlands coalfields, and the Northern Goldfields Upper Flinders, you're in for a fairly wet 10 days coming up. So that's the latest modelling anyway that's suggesting that. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you again tonight.